Hello everybody, the Central Coast LARPer here. Welcome. Hope you're having a truly outstanding day. Today we are going to be looking at building a very simple LARP shield. Now, LARP shields come in all shapes and sizes and all varying layers of complexity. But today I'm going to do one of my faves, which is just a simple tower shield. Why is it one of my favourites? Because two things. One is I am somewhat useless when it comes to craft, so I like things easy. The other thing is I'm a delightful combination of both lazy and time poor. So this particular shield is pretty easy to make, it's pretty quick to make, and a good one to start with. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the materials that you're going to need, and I'll declutter the desk as I go. Okay, you shall need a drill. This is cotton drill. Well, it's actually chino cotton drill because it was on special. But just the basic sort of broadcloth cotton drill, fine. You don't need anything really all that expensive. Just enough so it's reasonably thick, not the really flimsy polyester type stuff. Because what we're going to do is we're going to layer our shield with this, and we're going to paint over the top of it. PVA glue. This here is plywood. The uninitiated, this is 7 ply. You can get 5, even better. Now the size I got here was 600mm by just under 900. It was actually 897mm. I'm not sure why they just didn't add the extra 3mm, but their choice. But this is about the size of our tower shield. This is the size that our tower shield is going to be. So I just stand behind it here. This is going to be this big. So there's not much cutting. Some paint. I've got some oil-based paint, just so if your shield gets wet, the paint won't run. That's that. A belt. Okay, so get a cheapy belt. That's all you need. What I've found with belts is you can get the really cheapy Kmart belts, which are all good and well, but they will tend to break. These are about the same price, and they're more, I think they're called a web belt, and they're more a Fabrication type belt, so they tend to be stronger. So I like to go for these nowadays. Some bolts to secure our belt. These are 1/4 inch 50mm bolts. Really use whatever size you want, as long as you've got a drill bit that fits bolts. You know, go nuts. I don't care what size you use. I'm not the nuts and bolts police. Whatever floats your Viking boat. These are the ones I use. Just some tacks as well, because we'll tack the some of the gear in. Liquid nails, and liquid nail gun thingy. A rasp or a file, whatever you've got handy. We'll use that reasonably soon. File. Staple gun. We'll need that too at the ends. Reach over. A bit of a yoga mat foam for our back. A common garden hose that you stole from the garden when your wife wasn't looking. I'll show you what this is for as well. And some, I call this insulation foam. I think it's K-Flex foam or something like this. This is 9mm by 25mm. This will be for our edging. Skizzers and coffee cup and a textile. Okay, so what we're going to do now is our first step, which is just round off the edges. So this is for 2 reasons in particular. One is when we put the edging, the hose around the edging and the foam, it's going to make it easier to do it. And secondly, from a safety point of view, you just get those sharp edges off your shield, so if someone runs behind you and you react suddenly, which I've actually done in the past, and someone knocks into it with their face, those taping off those edges is a good thing. So reasonably simple. This is what I'm using the coffee cup for. So line your coffee cup up so it's sort of around the edge there, and with your texter, just draw a little line. Do that in all the others. Now, you can use anything round. I'm just using a coffee cup, you know, just for giggles. But anything you want is fine, as long as it's round-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. Now, this particular shield we're making for a raffle prize for Battlecry Field of Ashnoor. Will be at Central Coast Comic Con this year on 11th of May, and we're designing a LARPer kit. One of the things will be a shield, so we're going to document making this, so our winner can eventually see all the hard effort that went into it. Yeah, over here in my peasant workshop. So now we've done that, now I reach for the rasp. And I just started here, but basically just you've got your mark there and just sort of rasp off the edge until finally now, as I'm doing this, I'm not going to subject you to the whole 10 minutes that this takes me, so we will take a short break. But as you can see, all I'm doing there is just levelling off the edge until I get to that point. Okay, and we'll be back once I've done that rather mundane bit. Okay, I'm back. Done my edges. As you can see, that those lines were more of a guide than a rule. A couple of things happened while I was outside. One, I went, it's a bit hot. And secondly, actually when I started doing it, I went, actually that's probably good enough. That just knocks the edges off a bit, and that will do the job I wanted to do. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start cushioning our edge. Now, the reason we do this is your LARP weapons will get, if you just left it like this, your LARP weapons will get damaged. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some guard pads on it, you know, the one we stole while the wife wasn't looking. And after that we're going to stick some of that foam over the top, and then it's nice and spongy, and you won't be damaging anyone's LARP weapons. Also, it'll get safer if you accidentally hit someone with it as well. So, one tool I forgot to mention, a hammer. We will need a hammer. No good project is complete without bashing something indiscriminately with a hammer, and this is no exception. So I'll just start here with some of our liquid nails. I might just start in the middle. There we come, in your own time. Piece by piece. Now this hose, I've just cut it down the centre, okay, in preparation for what I was about to do. So yeah, just a bit of old garden hose. That'll do the job just nicely. And we stick that on. And then this is where I just use the Tacks. You can get away with not doing it because the liquid nails will hold it in anyway, but overkill is the best form of kill, so I like to just hammer that in too, to make sure that this ain't moving nowhere. Don't need many, because I say the liquid nails will do most of it. Now this is just a tad awkward, but you know, what we sacrifice for the benefit of movie magic. Oh, don't do that, that will get me in a fair bit of trouble and may result in this being the last Central Coast LARPer due to reasons of deceasedness. I know that's not a word, I've made it up. I can do these things unallowed. This just, as you can see, it still juts out a little bit, but we can tidy that up, and when the foam comes on it sort of doesn't really matter anyway. It's okay to seek you guys with liquid nails. I probably should have gloves on, but you know, I'm a little bit foolish like that. Don't do this at home though. You want to protect your hands from getting them rather sticky. See. Helps if you can hammer straight too. Not something that is always the case with me, but I do try it. Around about this stage is where, if you're like me, your hands start getting a little bit sticky and you start getting annoyed and frustrated and you think, maybe I should put gloves on. One day I shall learn, just not today. Okay, so I'll keep going on this, and once again, won't bore you with the details, but you get the gist, right? God knows on first I said we'll cut this here just to sort of lessen that a bit, and then we'll start looking at the next step. Okay, we're back. Now, so we've done the hose around the edges. Now one of the things I didn't mention, the other reason that we do that is it protects the foam that you put on top of the hose, so you're not actually putting that insulation foam up against the hard edge of the timber. So that's the other reason that we do that. So we're just, whilst we're waiting for that to dry a little bit, we will start putting in the hand grip. So the way to think about this with this particular style, you can see here, so your hand goes in that top corner and probably down on, well, not quite a 45-degree angle, probably a 30 odd degree angle, so it should pretty much line up like that. That's what I find comfortable. Other people do it differently, maybe straight across, whatever. I just like that. So you can do it however way you want. It really doesn't matter, but that's the way I recommend. So we choose our top corner. The other thing too I mentioned, I don't know if you can see it there, but where it's sort of bowed over a bit, we've just cut the hose a bit to so it doesn't take up, it doesn't bulge out as much. So we can make any size, any side out of the top right hand corner. Now this is a bit of yoga mat. This is to give you a bit of cushioning against your hand, so when your shield does get hit, it doesn't, you don't feel the impact as much. Now the way I measure it is I will line it up with my elbow, okay, up to about my knuckles, okay. Make a little bit of a mark. Probably can go a little bit beyond your knuckles, really doesn't matter. But this is probably a pretty good size. We might just cut it right off there. So see it's got some nice protection on there, so we're going to hold on to it. And we'll probably just glue it about there. That's probably a good spot for it. So grab the liquid nails and we'll give it a nice dollop of sticky stuff. Don't worry about being precise, it's really just got to hold it on. And a few other things you'll do after the fact will hold this on better anyway. Also don't worry about if it gets messy, we're going to cover it. So messy's good, messy means you're having fun and entertaining yourself. Messy builds character. We'll just stick that on. Round about there, and before it just glues permanently and I'm forever stuck with my choice, we'll just okay. That works pretty fine. So that's pretty much how I would hold it. Move it a little bit up. There's no exact science in this, just whatever feels comfortable. So that's our bit of cushioning there for our hands, for our arm, sorry, and our hand. Okay, so that's that stage. So we might let this dry a little bit, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, next step, the handle. So this basically. So here's one of my earliest shields to give you an idea if you can see it. Hold in your hand and strap into your forearm. So what we need to do first of all is just position where the straps will be. So one will be about where your grip is, where you would normally grip it, and the other one will be around about where the meaty part of your forearm is. Okay, so further down towards the padding. So I'll just put this away. Grab a marker, position this to a stage where you can fit your hand in, like where your arm would normally be, and I just mark it sort of near the edge of the foam. Doesn't need to be that wide. And once again, it doesn't need to be exact. Really just do it based on what's good for you. As I said, I'm not, not only am I not the bolt police, I'm not the position, the strap police. So put it wherever you want, wherever's comfortable. So with that, with the bit that goes around your arm, probably a bit further out actually, do maybe midway between your first joint and your knuckle. Put a mark there to give you a little bit of space, and a mark there. Okay, so not that one. Don't do that. It's just sit it there. So you can see a hand grip and our forearm grip. So we're going to drill a hole there. So grab your drill and obviously make sure your drill bit is about the same size as the bolt that you're going to use, and then we shall drill a hole. I know you're thinking you're waiting for me to drill through this glass table. Not today, my friend, not today. He says as he drills through the glass table. Watch for the outtakes. If the table changes between now and the next scene, you'll know what I've done. You notice I'm just cheating here a little bit, just spinning the, rotating the drill around, rather than being too precise. Should go through. Just makes it that little bit bigger. Okay. So there are 4 drill holes to which we shall put the bolt. So bolt this side first. This is nice and tight. Now we're doing all this, the bolts first, before we cover it, just so you don't have a couple of bolts sticking out. The payoff for that is that if you have to redo it, the bolts get a bit loose. It can be a bit trickier to tighten it up again, but I found even under the fabric you can still get a good handle on it, and it will grip. So it's better than having that exposed bolt head. If you want to go the other way and put the fabric on first, that's fine. Once again, you know, do whatever makes you happy. But I would suggest in that case maybe liquid nails the head of it, so you're not taking chunks out of people's swords, which people tend to be, you know, strangely a little bit touchy about. Who would have guessed, given the fact that LARP swords are ridiculously expensive? In most cases more, well not in most cases, but in some cases more expensive than actual steel weapons. Okay, we are ready and ready to go. Next thing, we'll get our belt. This little groover, $10 from Big W. Which is pretty cool. So where we're going to grip our hand, we just want a piece big enough to give us a bit of something to hold on to. So grab scissors. Once again, overkill's better. Okay, so cut more than what you think. So the thing here is sort of have a think about what you're going to hold your shield in with. If you're going to do this with one of the other ones, you might have noticed has got quite a big grip on it, because I tend to hold it with a big clamshell gauntlet. If it's just your hand, like, you don't need that much, and probably less the better. But have a think about that in terms of your spacing. And once again, do what works well for you. Because with the real cheapy sort of fake leather ones, this is probably a bit easier. But as I said, this webbing belt, just better. Just get it, because it will save you having broken belts. You might have seen on some of my other ones who've used, where I've used the cheaper one. That's starting to sort of fall apart as it is. So voila. pretty tight grip on the hand. Can be adjusted, but probably better to start tight. Now these ends here, we're going to knock those off with, I've got a set of bolt cutters, so you don't end up smashing it in your face accidentally. So we'll tighten those up a bit later. Now this bit you need to cut into two pieces. Okay, so you need a piece for your catch. Once again, just to overkill it a bit. And another piece to catch onto. And once again, just try and line it up with what you need. Ideally, you sort of want this belt buckle sort of close to the top of your hand, the top of your forearm here. So I'm gonna put something about there. Couple more washers. Washers. So on. And this one, yep, you can overkill it a little bit. Because you want to give yourself plenty of leeway. You know, you may have massive forearms, or you may be giving it to someone with massive forearms, so give yourself plenty of leeway. The good thing about this build is you just tighten it however you need to. There's no holes to line it up to. That's another bonus of these web style belts. Perfect. Just make sure there's enough there. Yep. Plenty. That'll hold in nice and tight, which is good. Now we'll just give this a little bit of a tighten up with whatever tools I can get my hands on. There are of course better tools than an adjustable wrench to do this sort of thing, but I like grabbing whatever. Okay, that is on nice and tight. So these edges here, I'll probably just maybe heat those just to so they don't fray anymore. But you get the gist. That is our strap system. That's through there and straps on. Now, of course, you're looking at these bolts and thinking, right, they're probably not the best thing. You don't want to be doing these ones and smacking yourself in the face and poking out an eye and then having to live the rest of your life as a pirate. The scourge of the high seas, getting into adventures. That sounds alright. But for those of you who don't want to be pirates and you don't want to lose an eye, we just need to cut those off. So find something that won't result in it flying up into your face. Something like this. And then I use the bolt cutters, and you get in as close to that nut as possible, and then pop. There's one. Just off camera there, you won't see to Odin the Wonder Dog. Done a few photo bombs throughout this footage. Funny fact about Odin, and we got him from the RSPCA as a rescue dog. That's not the funny fact. The funny fact is, like many other dogs, he is deathly afraid of lightning storms, thunderstorms. Oh, the delightful irony. And to top it off, he can jump 6-foot fences. So that makes it very entertaining to keep him in the yard when there is thunderstorms. Now we've cut that off. I'll show you. What we do now is just with a file, just file that there, because obviously that leaves a bit of a sharp edge, which you also don't want stuck in your eye. Just getting off the sharp edge, you see. Okay, that's that. Now what we're going to do is put the insulation foam over the top of that. So this is this foam insulation tube stuff. I've just cut it down the middle. Okay, we're going to get that same liquid nails out. And we're going to add to the collection of liquid nails that is currently residing on my fingers. So once again, you can just be a bit liberal here, but the foam itself is going to be held in by your fabric, so you don't have to worry too much about covering large portions with liquid nails. But what you do is always helpful. I try and start this in the middle when I start these. So just try and press that in as best you can. Once again, it's not a beauty contest, so don't worry if it looks a bit messy. Now these are 1 metre lengths that I have here. So I did get 4, but I might just get by with 1 less. Never know, never know. Let's see. Didn't do the maths, so we shall see soon. Shall let fate decide. Oh, there you go, you good thing. Right. So that's our foam. So we're going to let this dry a little bit before we get into the next stage. Check a little bit here. Okay. There's our back and our front. So we'll just let that dry for a bit. And then look, we're pretty close to being finished. We've just got to cover it over and paint it, and then it is job done. And there shall be much rejoicing. Okay, next step. Now we're going to start getting into making it look a little bit prettier. We're going to put the fabric over the top. Now that will hold in the foam here. It will cover up the bolts, and it will allow us to paint it. Well, technically you could paint the shield, but the foam would be a bit harder to paint, and it would end up popping up anyway. So, because my hands are already full of liquid nails, may as well also add to that some PVA glue. So look, if you're doing it yourself, you know, don't do what I do. I'm set bad examples with things like this. I'm just going to use my hand to spread it out. But you know, use a brush. Be sensible. Don't be like the Central Coast LARPer. So we're just doing the front first. So we need to get glue all over the place. And then when this dries, we'll glue the back in and we'll staple it in, and that should hold everything in nicely. And look, go nuts with the glue. Nice thick coat. Gonna paint it anyway. So nice, 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 nice. Okay, we've got our, in this case, chino drilled. Now I've got about 1.5 meters of these, so it's 900mm tall, 600mm wide. So I got more than what I needed, which is cool. That's because you can always cut it. So once again, overkill, overkill, overkill. Just getting 1 meter is probably not quite enough, because you've really got to, you want to do a bit at the back as well to hold it in nice and tight. So 1.5 meters would probably go. Not too sure how impressed Spotlight or Limcraft would be if you rock up and say, can I have 1.2 meters of fabric? Or so 1.5 meters. Be nice to your local Spotlight person. Now, hopefully, you have a nice thick layer of glue underneath here that your fabric will adhere to. Smooth it as best you can. And now we wait. Now we play the waiting game. We wait for this to dry. Give it a few hours. It really it's better that you really let this dry. It will make your life a bit easier going forward. The last piece of it. Of course, you really want to be able to bring this in as best you can. It's all about the long game. Yes, as I said, we're pretty much on the home straight now. All we have to do now is we glue the other side just around the edges. We'll use our staple gun to staple that in nice and tight so it won't move, and then we paint it, and then it's done. And then it's done, it'll be ready for our lucky winner at the Central Coast Comic Con this year, May 11th, Saturday. Be there or be square. So we shall let this dry for a bit. Okay, right now, front is dry, now it's time to do the back, so a little bit more glue, and basically then we're going to staple it in place at the back. So, pour a little bit here. You notice I've left more than what I've needed in this fabric. That's fine, because I can just cut it off as I need to. Try and bring that in reasonably tight. Don't pull too tight because it's only got PVA glue holding the other end anyway. And then right up near the foam edging, just with your staple gun, staple it in. Now I'm using 8mm staples because I don't want to go for the other side of the shield itself. Follow this edge in here, nice and neat. So it's sort of the last step. We'll cut the excess fabric off, but just for now, just make it big as you need it, rather than have too much than too little. This is the bit I was saying where it doesn't matter, where it bowed out a little bit, because this is where we push it back in. Now sometimes these staple guns, particularly the cheapest like I use, they may not go in all the way, so get your trusty hammer out. Bash it indiscriminately, like all good wheels of hammers should. Okay, that's it. That is our shield. Looking pretty spec. Now all we have to do is paint it and just trim the back. Trim the back here. I might put another staple in there, and it'll be nice and neat. I don't think we'll show the painting of it. I might just do that off camera. I'm sure you know how to paint. But yeah, essentially, we have our shield. Show you here. We've got our shield right here. So, pretty good. We just need to paint it. Okay everybody, the LARP shield is done and dusted. I've given it its knightly colours, red and black. You'll also notice that we've put a few staples just in the front. It was peeling away a little bit with the PVA glue, so that just keeps it that little bit more secure and solid. On the back we've trimmed it up a little bit, so it looks nice and neat. And it is ready to go, ready for battle once its rightful owner claims it. So on behalf of the Central Coast LARPer and Odin the Wonder Dog, hope you found this informative, and I hope it helps you create your own LARP shield. This is the Central Coast LARPer signing off. Have a great day. Thanks.